Hello and welcome to Pillars of Eternity Part 6. Last we left off, we recruited Aloth and we solved a grain dispute. As the quest says, report to the Svenir. I've convinced the miller to relinquish his control over the grain supply. Svenir should be pleased to hear it, though one wonders how long the grain will last. There's always a downside to everything in this game, apparently, so would have been too easy if there wasn't. Something to pick. So let us enter the inn. Something to steal, which is not stealing. Milk, that can be in our stash for a few months. It's probably going to smell lovely. There he is.
Good day to you.
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking, we're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful, looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. What if I told you that Thrombos changed his mind about his grain prices? The dwarf looks up, blinking. What, you serious? He exchanges looks with his fellows, who grins hesitantly. The old man listens to reason. About time. I told him he'd come around, but damn if he didn't take his time about it. He sets a few coppers on the table. Here, buy yourself a drink now that we can afford it. Goes for you two as well. Drinks on me. Gain 10 copper, hooray! Any interesting update? I convinced from Thrumbo that it was in his best interest to deal fairly with Svenir and his lackeys. Svenir was pleased with the outcome and offered me a round at the inn as well as a small amount of coin. Yeah, well, I did what I did.
I'm here.
And I didn't do it never mind. Ah, School of Fan of Flames. And books. Well, they can be read later. Some kind of brown slop is congealing in these dishes. It smells burnt. How nice. Pasca.
Gods keep you.
Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. She laughs. So what would you like? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Whoops. I didn't mean to. I want to talk.
Hail, traveler.
Go on. My mouse is a bit jumpy. It's super sensitive and there's nothing much I can do about that, but okay. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound Part 2. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building here has been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work at the tables, actually, until the old owner opted and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound? It's still sitting upstairs pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. She laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Okay, bye bye for now. We need to rest, but we need to go in and speak to this guy first. Tenfrith. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchens around you. It's good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets. My dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. The party has gained the recipe, savory pie. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Hooray! We can now cook a savory pie. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. How nice. We leveled up, I knew this. So, let us sort the leveling up business. I should probably just focus on athletics and lore. Some survival might not be too bad, but... that will do. Class unlocks. Ooh. A zealous of focus. The paladin's intense and pure conviction instills clarity of purpose in him or her and all allies, increasing their accuracy and converting a portion of graces to hits. Cannot be active with other zealous auras. Friendly auras plus 6 accuracy plus 15% of graces converted to hits. A grace reduce damage and duration by 50%. So that's very valuable. Of other options we have the zealous charge, which is move speed and defense when disengaging. It's basically similar to avoiding attacks of opportunity. The zealous endurance, which is damage reduction and incoming hits converted to graces instead. That's more a tanky option, but zealous focus is what we want. I just want to make sure it's actually selected. Thank you. Hooray! Done! So we can work on Aloth. He's a wizard. Hurry! He's got 1 point in mechanics. He's got quite a bit of a lore. You know what? The thing is, here in this game you have rogues and thieves and whatever they're called, but mechanics is the skill directly tied to opening doors and traps. Traps and locks can be a problem for even the toughest adventurer, draining their resources and remaining or killing those who are unfortunate enough to trigger an unseen floor plate. The mechanics skill makes it easier to open locks and find and disable traps. Additionally, any character can use the mechanics skills to place traps of their own. The higher the mechanics skill, the more accurate the trap. In conversations and scripted interactions, mechanics can be used to activate or disable a variety of machines. Disarm difficulty 1 traps, pick difficulty 1 locks plus 3 trap accuracy. So basically any character class can disable stuff. So you know what, let him be better at disabling stuff. Because in any good role-playing game there's an awful lot of traps to hamper your progress, and this game is no different. So we need some spells. Necrotic Lance creates a lance of pure necrotic energy, causing corrode damage instantly and over time. We shall definitely learn that. What else can we do? Infused with Vital Essence. Infuses the caster with vitality, giving them a temporary increase to maximum endurance and health. Well, it could be worth learning, just in case. Get focused, I suppose. Rare Fire. That's a nice spell. A rolling flame creates a rebounding ball of fire, inflicting burn damage upon anyone in its path. Nah, let's just settle with these two, I think. And we are done.
Yes?
So, we can quick save again, and then we can get a room.
Hail, traveler.
Hello again, anything I can do for you? We still have rooms open, and it's never too early for a drink. Oh, well. Could I see what you have for sale? I'm sure you'll find something to your liking. We have to find this cook and deal with. Okay. Well, we have 4 out of 4 camping supplies, so that's fine. If that's the case, we don't really want anything. What we want is a room. You can use the common room, which is free. I'm fairly sure it drains camping supplies, but I could be wrong. You can spend a bit of money for +1 perception and +1 mechanics, or you can spend a bit more money for +2 resolve. It lasts for 2 rests, so you can camp twice before you lose this bonus. You know what? Let's rest well, shall we? Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree. The creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until its sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inwards like moldering food. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watcher. Oh no, Ian Hazacustus is in this game. World of Warcraft joke. Sorry, bad one. You jolt awake in the foul smell of the dwarf's woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. You called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Ah! So we need to find the dwarf woman from the
I'm here.
dream. But before we do that, we need to head upstairs. Well, we don't need to, but we're going to do it anyway. Carusa. Grab a drink, friend. Not much of worth in this town, says the woman from Tyne. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Tyne. Ah, no mind, nothing extraordinary. Lockpick. The Deerwood Part 1, early colonial history. Fine, cool. Oops. Come on. Crammed behind the books is a drawing that shows Arthas and Lord Radric in a compromising position. How nice.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Rapier, padded armor, and a duelist's hat. Well, let's take that. Let us look brilliant, shall we? That is part of clothing. I've always wanted to look spiffy. Ah! Looks a bit stupid, I suppose, but never mind. No, I will not steal, but anything that's not bolted down I will take. I can speak to her, but please leave me be. I'm full to sickness with what I've seen of this place and its people. Okay. Black Hound. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail waggling slightly. Sorry girl, don't think he's coming back. The dog whines softly again, head tilting. Well, you can come with me, maybe we'll find him on the way. The dog ears perk up, it trots over to you and barks happily. You have gained an item, Black Hound added to inventory. So we now have a dog in our backpack, which seems perfectly acceptable. These bones are covered with tiny bite marks. So let us head out. Where is she? Oh, that's... No, I don't want to speak to him just yet. Caldara di Perasanti. Or something. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the top of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there's a tepid warmth in it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Let us reach out for her. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with a new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electrical surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog. Her body still swaying in the wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, then. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face as through consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I think I survived a Buick. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me now.
You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
She clicks her tongue. I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
Time for an obvious question. What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now! Such a question! As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
I had other questions.
Of course, dear.
And it turns out I didn't.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the news, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Galga was granted a crucible of the soul. Eloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. I am a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect that explains how you survived the Biric, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we are traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they are rare and they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. He coughs, as you just demonstrated. Let's continue on. And this is a good time for us to end this episode, because we are closing in 30 minutes, I think. In the next part we will be speaking to this gentleman here. But since there's a lot of talking concerning him as well, we will have to wait for that. So, as for now, thanks for watching, take care, and see you again. Bye bye.